We say good morning now and a happy Monday to our Mike Eppel at the 680 News Business Center. Morning, Mike.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. So lots of airline news you have for us this morning, starting with Air Transat. So after Air Canada pulls out of the deal to buy the company, some latest developments there. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this news broke actually Friday. The proposed transaction between Air Canada and Transat AT, the travel company out of Montreal, fell apart for all intents and purposes. It had been 2 years in the making, but so much has changed in the midst of the pandemic with the Canadian Airlines at just a fraction of their previous business levels. And then because this was a merger or a buyout of two companies that have international routes, specifically Transat's operations in Europe, well, it required European regulatory approval. And the European regulators had pushed back saying, look, this is going to take away competition if you have Air Canada buying Air Transat. So it probably wasn't going to be passed. Air Canada said we can't change it enough to make it palatable for the regulators. So the deal's done. It's off. It's off the table. So what happens to Transat? They said if the deal falls apart, they're going to either need financial assistance to the tune of about $500 million from the feds, or maybe Pierre-Carl Pelado, a well-known Quebec businessman who's talked about buying Transat in the past, maybe he comes up with a takeover bid, but it's going to be a lot less money than what was originally proposed, in and around maybe $200 million.
Okay, more airline news. Delta cancels 100 flights. And I was thinking, we chatted during commercial break, I was thinking because of the pandemic, but you said it's staffing issues and they're reopening access to middle seats. Tell me a little bit about that.
Delta is so busy right now that they can't call employees back fast enough from the furloughs, whether it's the flight attendants, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, the flight attendants or the pilots. They just do not have enough crew to operate all the flights that they need right now, because America is reopened for the most part. I mean, their numbers, 1.5 million passengers per day and climbing. The restrictions or lack thereof, or the new rules, so to speak, if you've been vaccinated in the States, they're saying you don't need necessarily you don't have to worry so much about flying and all these things, right? So it's a different environment in the States, and Delta's reopening the middle seat. Some people like that idea, some people don't. You want the extra elbow room, perhaps, and not sitting so close to somebody on a crowded plane. But nevertheless, a very different marketplace in the States right now.
Yeah, not a fan of that middle seat, but happy for others to take
before or
it.
after the pandemic, either way.
Both, yeah. No thanks.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the stocks right now. Both Bay Street and Wall Street poised for records at the opening bell this morning.
And this is a day where some markets are closed. Everything is closed in Europe. It's Easter Monday. Wall Street and Bay Street have already had a 3-day weekend, so they're back to work today. And on Friday, we had the rare event where the U.S. Reported jobs on Good Friday. The jobs report for the month of March, which was very strong, 916,000 jobs. And that has the Dow poised for a record right at the start this morning. You've got the Biden stimulus plans in place. I mean, there's a lot of heft underpinning these markets, and should be a pretty good start to the trading week.
Okay, Tesla has a blowout first quarter for sales.
Records for Tesla's deliveries of electric vehicles, 184,000. And Tesla's share price is up by 8% this morning. Tesla, the auto industry is interesting, because when Tesla reports results, everybody pays attention to it because it's electric vehicles. When the traditional automakers, GM, Chrysler, Toyota, they all had very good first quarter sales and March numbers. Some were record breaking, but it does not garner the attention that Tesla does, just from an investor standpoint. So it's interesting from that metric. Nevertheless, they're coming along, but they've got a lot of competition coming as well from those traditional automakers, Volkswagen, GM, Ford, you name it. It's going to be a very different world in a very short time here for electric vehicles. By the way, General Motors said that the price for their electric vehicle Hummer pickup truck is going to start at $110,000 when it hits the market in 2023.
Jeez.
So, 100 for a pickup truck.
I am looking forward to 2023.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be really neat, but at the same time, 110 grand US, by the way.
Yeah.
For that price tag.
Yikes. Okay, Mike Eppel, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. And another year, another lockdown Easter, but many still found ways to celebrate safely. We'll tell you how after the break.